Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you the 2024 Pro Wrestling Year in Review. So I hope you all had a great holiday season. It was a very busy time for me, so that's why I haven't been uploading videos that much. That might happen from time to time on this channel. I'm just a normal guy, so sometimes there might be times where I post videos in a row, and there might be times where there's nothing on the channel. So let's just get into this. It's a new year, so let's start making some more videos. So let's start out with the bad stuff first. Let's get the bad stuff out of the way. So at the beginning of the year, there was the lawsuit with Vince McMahon, and this is a story that really began back in 2022. So Vince McMahon just had his last match at Wrestlemania 38, and then the reports came out about him paying hush money. I'm not going to get into the details too much on these allegations. It's really disturbing, and it's all online, so if you want to look at that stuff, if you want to stomach that stuff, you can. I'm just going to talk very briefly about this stuff. So after the allegations, or after the reports of the hush money came out, Vince McMahon made one last appearance on SmackDown. It was a very weird, awkward appearance. And then in 2022, he retired, and I believe he retired for half a year, I believe it was. Then came back in 2023. He basically came back to sell the company to TKO, Endeavor. WWE and UFC made a merger, and now they're owned by one company. And I believe when he did that, he was chairman of the board for once again for a little while. And then the lawsuit came out around January, and it's very disturbing stuff. And I believe he was forced to step down again. And for right now, this is where we are at. I believe that this is a story, it's an ongoing story. I believe there's going to be a lot more information to come over time. So this is probably not the last of Vince McMahon that we've heard. And I remember when these allegations came out, a lot of people were in the wrestling community were shocked. I know a lot of wrestling fans that I've talked to in person were just shocked that this happened. I gotta say, I've been a wrestling fan a long time, and I wasn't really surprised when the allegations came out, because I believe that this is not the first time that Vince McMahon has been accused of doing something nasty. There's the incident with Ashley Massaro, who passed away in 2019. I believe all the details of that is also online, so you can look into that. There's also been several books and news reports and stuff like this. So I gotta say that this isn't really the first time that this has been reported, so I'm not really surprised this has happened. I think what really surprised me the most about these allegations is that it took this long for something to happen, for WWE or for some kind of action to be taken towards Vince McMahon. It's 2024, and these allegations have been going on for years. I remember there was something that happened back in I remember reading somewhere that something happened back in 2006 where he did something nasty back then. So it really just kind of surprises me more that it took this long for these allegations to come out. I'm not really shocked about what happened. I mean, it's disturbing, but I'm more shocked that it took this long for them to do something, if that makes sense. So now that we got the bad stuff out of the way, time to talk about the good stuff. So, the next big story that happened in 2025, The Rock is now on the board of directors, basically replacing Vince McMahon, I think, kind of. We also had the $1 billion deal with Raw on Netflix, which, as of this recording, last night was the episode of Raw, the first episode of Raw on Netflix, and I thought it was pretty good. It's definitely going to be a new era for Netflix. I feel like Netflix is going to be able to deliver us a lot more edgier content, and I look forward to seeing a lot of that in the future. We also have Triple H, who, now that Vince McMahon is gone, Triple H is in complete control of creative, is officially the Paul Levesque era, which, in my opinion, this is kind of giving me it kind of resembles the Attitude Era just a little bit, but it's also a new era, so there's new things to look forward to in this era, I think. And I gotta say, ever since Triple H has taken over creative, the quality of production for like the shows has gone up. They have the new like logo, which is kind of similar to like what the NFL does. So I really am enjoying the product that Triple H has been presenting to us. It has been a much better product compared to what Vince McMahon was doing, and I look forward to seeing what Triple H has to offer us in the future. The story is now finished. Cody Rhodes, the next big star we're going to talk about in 2024, Cody Rhodes finally won the WWE Championship. This is a moment that has been long overdue. In 2007, he inducted his father into the Hall of Fame. I'm going to go briefly over his career. If you're watching this video, I'm going to assume that you have some knowledge in wrestling, so I'm just going to skim through this really quickly, because this video is starting to get longer than I thought it would be. So, of course, Cody Rhodes has had an amazing career. Well, somewhat. There was the dashing gimmick. He was a member of Legacy. He also won the Intercontinental title. He brought back the original Intercontinental title. He also won the tag team titles with his brother. He had the Stardust gimmick. And then in 2006, he got released. And he had a great career. He, outside WWE, he became an independent wrestler. And he formed up with the Young Bucks, and they created the other company, AEW, which we'll get more into AEW later in this video. And in 2022, he made his shocking return to the WWE. Left the company that he created and made his return. He had a great feud with Seth Rollins. He got injured. 2023, he won the Royal Rumble. He faced Roman Reigns at WrestleMania Hollywood, and he lost. And then 2024, he won the Royal Rumble again. And originally, The Rock came in, and Cody stepped aside. Looked like it was going to be Rock versus Roman at WrestleMania, but due to the fan outrage, fan backlash, the Cody crybabies, as The Rock called it, at the WrestleMania kickoff show, they made some changes, and they went with Cody versus Roman. And we got to see the heel Rock in 2024. So on night one, we had Cody and Seth versus Rock and Roman, with the winner determining the outcome of WrestleMania Night 2. So if Roman and Rock win this match, it would be Bloodline rules. And then night 2 was Cody versus Roman. We got to see the return of heel Rock. We got to see a Rock concert. We got to see the moment where The Rock attacked Cody Rhodes. This is probably up there with, like, I would say this is probably the number 3rd best promo of 2024. We have on night 1, Rock and Roman won. I did a Wrestlemania review video earlier this year. That was one of my first videos, so if you want to see more of that, maybe I'll leave links to those videos in the description box, maybe. We had Cody versus Roman, and Cody Rhodes won the WWE title, and really began this new era of pro wrestling. And this year has been an awesome year for Cody Rhodes, and I'll get more into that a little later in this video, so we'll keep going with this review. So the next big story that kind of happened 2024, CM Punk made his WWE return at the end of 2023, and in my opinion this is probably the second promo of the year, best promo of the year, with Punk and Drew, some of the stuff they did. Also, you had Seth Rollins included in that stuff, but one of the promos that I liked the most was the one where it was like on one of the go-home shows before, I believe it was either the go-home show or the Raw in Chicago before WrestleMania, where Drew McIntyre is like sitting on the table and he tells CM Punk, "Don't look up my guilt, you perv." So that was like one of my favorite promos of the year. And we had great matches. We had a great series of matches with CM Punk and Drew. It ended with the Bad Blood match, which this is, like, in my opinion, one of the best matches in a long time in, like, WWE history, based on match quality wise. I would say that this is probably up there for match of the year. I would say Cody versus Roman and CM Punk versus Drew, probably the top 2 matches of the year this year inside WWE. So we also had CM Punk go on the MMA Hour, basically talk about why he left AEW with, like, the injuries. Kind of sounded a little bit similar to when he left WWE in 2014. So as a response, Tony Khan decided to release the footage of CM Punk, which at the time it seemed like a bad decision, but I guess now we kind of know what happened. I kind of see why they did this, so they could reintroduce Jungle Boy Jack Perry into AEW. Forever, Jack Perry is going to be known as the guy that CM Punk got into a fight with. I believe it was earlier this year. I'm going to talk briefly about AEW with Sting. He had his retirement. I believe that was this year, 2024. I would say that Sting's retirement tribute was the best tribute. I think they did a better job at retiring Sting than WWE did when it came to Kurt Angle. They really gave Sting a good moment, good last goodbye moment. We also had Mercedes Moné, I think I pronounced that right, made her debut. She won the TBS title. We had Adam Copeland, who won the TNT title. He got injured. He just came back at the last pay-per-view, I believe. We had Bryan Danielson have his last moment as the AEW World Champion. We also had Swerve Strickland, if I pronounce that correctly, win the AEW Championship. And we also had the controversial moment with Jon Moxley. There was some backlash. It was a little bit cringe with this moment, but Jon Moxley wins the AEW World Championship. So, I haven't really been watching AEW much this year. I haven't been watching the other companies much this year because I'm a busy guy, and usually when it comes to wrestling, I try to watch what I think is going to be considered historical, if that makes sense. I can't watch it every single week because I'm busy sometimes. Sometimes life gets in the way. You have like family stuff and all that kind of stuff. I would say that AEW hasn't really been doing as good as they did when they first started out. But I'm not completely giving up on them. I'm still going to check it out every once in a while. I will say that match quality in AEW is still pretty good. Don't really have much to say right now about AEW. AEW does now have the deal on HBO Max, so that's really great. I'm looking forward to watching some of the earlier years. I've missed some of the pay-per-views because the pay-per-views in AEW are like expensive, and so I get to like I've been looking forward to like watching some of the old pay-per-views that I missed. It's on AEW Max right now. It's on HBO Max, so that's really cool for them. That's really great. Right? So it's really a great time to be like a wrestling fan right now. Wrestling has just been like super on fire lately. And there's been like all other companies and all that. So I guess I'll talk a little bit about TNA wrestling. Again, I haven't really been watching much TNA wrestling lately either. I don't think I really watched too much TNA wrestling this year. The only thing that I really know about TNA this year is that Nick Nemeth, formerly known as Dolph Ziggler, made his debut, and he won the TNA World Title. And I believe the Hardy Boys are there. JBL made. I know a little bit, but I haven't been watching it like week to week, if that makes sense. But yeah. Oh, and also Jordynne Grace. She had a great year in TNA as well. She made her Royal Rumble debut, so there's that. We got some crossover stuff going on with WWE and TNA. That's pretty cool. It's a little bit long overdue. The Motor City Machine Guns just made their WWE debut recently, and they won the tag team titles, and then they lost it. So that was kind of a cool moment, even though it didn't last long. We also had new champions in the year 2024. We had Damien Priest won the world title. We also had Gunther. The Raw Women's division was pretty good this year. We had Becky Lynch, who had her final moment. We don't know what's going to happen for her next. I do not think this is the end of her career. It's a new chapter. She's probably going to do Hollywood or maybe come back soon to WWE. She was in the Raw Netflix trailer, so I'm assuming she's not AEW bound. I'm assuming she's going to come back to WWE at some point. Maybe in 2025 we could get like a Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee feud. You never know. We also had Liv Morgan, who had a women's world title reign. We also had Rhea Ripley, who had a good year. She started out as women's champion, and as of this recording, last night was the Raw Netflix. She did win the women's title again, so we have that to look forward to this year. We also had the debut of Jade Cargill, so we get to look forward to that in the future. So I guess I'll end this with, I've been giving you, like, I told you what the third promo of the year was, the second promo of the year was, so I'm going to be giving you my number one promo of the year, 2024. So Roman Reigns made his return at SummerSlam, and him and Cody Rhodes were a tag team. They were a tag team at Bad Blood, and before that pay-per-view, they had the awesome promo of Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns at the Georgia Tech. This was probably, in my opinion, promo of the year. It was, like, really awesome, and I believe at some point in the future we're going to get a Cody versus Roman 3. I don't know if that's going to happen at WrestleMania. I can see Cody versus Roman happening at a non-pay-per-view, not non-pay-per-view, but at a non-WrestleMania event. Like, but I do believe that is something we have to look forward to, and that pretty much wraps up my 2024 year in review. I'm not a journalist. I realize I probably could have added a lot more detail, but this video was longer, ran a little bit longer than I thought it would. But yeah, so that's pretty much my 2024 year review, and now we have 2025 to look forward to, so stay tuned for more videos. Remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below.